Y'all are cut off because, you know, I don't know. I had been jumping back and forth with the feed the whole time. So if that happens to you, and then the kid asks you, like, why didn't you tie your shoe? And you just kind of look at the kid like, why didn't I tie my shoe? Like, so when she said that to me, she was like, well, why aren't you doing it on a higher level? What can I say at that point? I don't have no answers. You had to turn it off. You had to turn it off. You had to get your earpods because if Facebook hears any sound in the background, they'll take my video off. I don't know. I guess that's how they make money, girl. I don't know. I can show you how to sync it. And then I'm almost done. Stop. And then I'm almost done. So then the last thing is that all those things have happened. All that's to tell me to obey. So here we are. Here we are. Me getting sick yesterday made me have to be still, and it made me have to reassess. It made me also try and get answers. So many people around me are dealing with pain. And I know some of y'all want to just act like the pain isn't there. So y'all will, put on a smiley face and, go on with life. But the pain doesn't go away. And then some of you will drink and some of you will smoke and some of you will, do the adult dance. And all of those things, I'm not saying that I can't tell you what's right or wrong, but what I'm trying to get you to is that it's a book that I used to tell with the kids. We just got it actually, Snooker got it, and it's called Going on a Bear Hunt. And it talks about this family, and they're going on a bear hunt. They're looking for this bear. I like to use that because at the end of the day, we're all looking for something. We're either looking for love. I think we're all looking for love, actually, and acceptance. But those things won't come until you're living in your purpose. Again, I told y'all this is my purpose. See how I keep tying everything right back to this happiness is a choice? That's how I knew what this was. You can't find any of those things unless you're living in your purpose. And living in your purpose doesn't even mean it could be making you any financial gains at this moment, but it will. Living your purpose means understanding what you're here for. And then because when you're living in your purpose, you're working towards it. You're doing the things that are actively necessary to get you to the next steps. That's where the financial gain comes. That's when the service work comes. That's when you're able to take care of everyone. You are a whole different person with money. The person you think you are now, you're not when you have money. The person you think you are now, you're not when you're financially stable. If you're already financially stable, the person that you are right now financially stable is not the person you are living in your purpose. All these things, but if you're not financially stable and you become financially stable, it elevates you. If you are financially stable and you get into your purpose, it elevates you. It puts you on a higher plane of consciousness. You seek out and interact with people that are destined for you, that give you an energy that you need to be charged to go on. We're all energy. That's what we are. That's why I'm going to get into some stuff that I personally believe. We can believe different, but listen to it. Take it in and then see how does it filter for you. Don't lose what I'm giving you because I have a core belief in something that you don't have. Because unless it's a situation where you worship the devil, which is that's the only thing I can think of that's completely opposite of me, then yeah, don't lose the message. Because when I'm about to say, some of it might not resonate with you, I'm going to say. That's the nice way to say it. I was going to say it's going to go over your head. The nice way to say it may not resonate with you. Let it sit on you for a while. How many times do you hear music and don't even like it the first time, and then you hear it a couple of times and now you're singing it? We are all energy. This is why we can trace things back to having other lives, other energy sources. We've done things over and over. That's why you can go places and you feel like you've done this before, but you say I've never been here. That's why you can meet a person and say, "Oh, I feel like I've known you forever," because their energy source, their energy, their signature, their soul has moved through time. If you know all these things are happening, I corely believe that you have to get into the highest vibration for yourself so that you can get to the next plane of this life. And getting through pain is a part of that purpose. So the book talks about going on a bear hunt. They're chasing a bear. You're chasing your purpose. And as they do this, they go through different places that they have to do this. And then they run across barriers. So one of them is water. The first thing the book says is you can't go under it because you can't. What you gonna do? You gonna swim underneath the water? So not just hear what I'm saying. You're gonna swim underneath the water somehow. You can't go under it. Wherever they are, they can't go over it. So it's not a bridge they can go over. Wherever it is, it's too big. They can't go around it. They got to go through it. We have to go through these pain. We have to get to the other side. How do you go through pain? When it hits you, I don't think you should suppress it. And when I say hit you, because it doesn't leave. I don't feel like it leaves me, but I feel like I find myself, because there's some things I wanted to do and get done, I have to do them. So, well, before, I just sat down. I put on a dress and I sat down on my sister's couch. And if the kids talk to me, I talk to them. But especially in the beginning, I don't think I was facilitating meals. I don't think I was, you know, I I think I was getting, because when I go back through pictures, I was getting the kids dressed every day. So their things were being done. But I don't think anything that required any further thought was getting done. And then I remember conversations with my past partner, him saying things like, I'm talking to you about doing things and you just not saying nothing. Like you just are silent. So I know in saying that this time around, I'm not doing that. But I don't think I cried. Like, I don't remember really crying a lot. I don't remember embracing the memories as my own. So when things hit me, I'm going through the whole thought instead of shutting it down. One of the persons that died, or one of the persons that transitioned to heaven, one of the women, was a woman that lived next door to me my whole life, damn near. Like, she was the neighbor next door, would have been the first woman I interacted with, short of my mother, on my block here in Chicago. So she was really my representation of what women in Chicago were about. I had been in Kentucky with the women down there, so I understood what it was to be a Southern belle and how to treat a man and how, people interact. And because I had my grandmother and I had my great grandmother, and I had my great grandmother, my grandmother, my great aunt, and my cousins are down there, my big cousins, so which are like aunties to me. So I've seen marriages come and go. I've been in weddings. I'm going to church. I'm seeing women at church. I'm watching women and how they act and how they talk and what they do. And I'm watching demographics of women. Different ages of women. I guess demographics too, because I was in the Girl Scouts, so that gave me the interaction with white women as well. So, but when I come to Chicago, the first representation is the woman next door besides my mother. And when I tell you that she was this little short, cute little thing, just short as she could be, with this huge husband, oh my God, it looked like he was 6 feet tall and she was 4'5" or something. She wasn't that short, but them standing together looked that way. And she had a lot of kids. She had a lot of kids. Like, I hadn't met anybody that had more than 2 or 3 kids, and she had 3 plus. And of course, I knew all the kids, and so I never saw her raise her voice. I never saw her. I never saw her exert the. What's on my lips now, y'all? I never saw her give off more than her feminine energy, ever. I've seen her. I've heard her talk stern, but even her stern was still, especially considered today, the way women talk to men and the way, you'll hear a woman outside going, no, mm-mm, mm-mm. And her husband would do things wrong. Her husband would do things wrong. Her husband would do men things wrong, and her husband would do things wrong just as who he was, just as his own individual person. People do things wrong. But no, she was always very logical in what she spoke, though. It was always, it seemed like it was always pre-thought out. She had a very strong education background, and she actually was a professor and taught in some of the really some of the colleges that I don't want to say her business specifically, but one of the colleges that tremendously helped me with my education and me learning how I needed to learn. She was actually a professor there. She we might be wrapped up. Don't pick her up, this pattern. Okay, back up. Back up. That's the warning. So y'all, we finna wrap it up because that's the warning. So she taught education. She was a professor besides just being a mother, besides just being a woman. And then she was for the cause. She was very much involved in empowering Black women and empowering Black men. This is who this person was to me. She would be the closest thing to me understanding what it is to make sure that you carry yourself in Black excellence. And then let me tell y'all, I know all her dirt. I mean, as much as her dirt as a kid can know, because because everybody has dirt. So I know the things that, weren't necessarily perfect or not perfect in her home. But I still watched this woman be a grown, elegant, educated Black woman, respected. I watched her. I really believe because of her, it instilled an educational value that hadn't been instilled before. Yeah. I mean, like, Nana made me go to school and do my lessons and stuff, but y'all know I was getting paddled in school because remember, I didn't tell nobody I was getting paddled. None of them didn't know. So this would be the woman that's the component that I'm sure is directly connected to me leaving for college. And if it's not her, it's her offspring, because that's who I'm running with. Her offspring is talking to me about, oh, well, T, this is when you start talking about college. T, just in base conversation. I'm a junior now, and of course, her daughters are gonna say, "Oh, well, T, what school? We ain't going to the same school. We just living next door. We just hanging out, doing girl stuff." But of course, they're gonna be like, "Oh, did you fill out for your FAFSA?" Because that's the level in her home. My mother wasn't talking to me about filling out no damn FAFSA, because my mama didn't fill out no fucking FAFSA. She wasn't talking to me about that. That's her. Now, my mother did take me to everything I needed as far as tutoring and making sure that I believed in myself, that I could achieve the scholastic goals that were placed before me. I know directly the way that I talk, the level of the terms, some of the terms that I use come from one of her daughters specifically, because she would give me a new word every day. And I'd be like, what are you saying? What's the word? And she would tell me. And I would go look it up, and we would use the word all week. One of her other daughters specifically, I remember her asking me about the FAFSA. I remember her, like, it was just regular questioning. Because these are things, she had younger sisters underneath her. She had done it. She knows what needs to be happening. That's directly because of her. And all she was doing was raising her daughters. That's all she was doing. So when things come up for me with her, when I'm walking around and I'm doing something and it hits me that she's not here, that I did not do some things with her that I would have liked to have done with her, or it's a specific conversation I wish I had with her and I didn't. I don't just brush it off. That's what I mean by going through it. I don't just brush that thought off. I live that thought through. I feel that pain. I feel that regret. And I live that thought through. I have that conversation. I believe in me, myself, and I. The 3 parts of your personality. The me is when you're born. It's very primal, very preschoolish, very base, like 5 and under. Very impulsive, and very whatever you are, aggressive, non-aggressive, whatever those other personality traits. But it's very pure. The myself, y'all. She didn't warn me. We didn't hit the window. The myself is the part of yourself that, we hit the window. So I will have to come back. See you all in a little while.